Decentraland, Demystified. Create your world, let the imagination fly. With ChronoT as your friendly guide. Go design and build, watch it amplify. SDK7 for TypeScript coding. With blocks and tools, it's so mind-blowing. Build your spaces, architecture so fine. A creative metaverse, one of a kind. Decentraland, Demystified. Create your world, let the imagination fly.
Hello. All right. Well, I tried to get screencast keys to work. That means that if it did work, it would show the keys that I'm pressing down here. So instead, I'm just going to have to show you or explain what I'm pressing. So this is the default scene. I'm going to delete these, and then I'm going to import a model. So we're gonna FBX. I'm gonna go ahead and import the female model because the hands do not line up with this upper that I'm gonna upload here. So I'm gonna hit plus, or this is number pad period. So whenever you select on something, you hit numpad 0, or numpad 1 period, and it'll zoom in on whatever you want. So here we've got this, and so this is just the default armature. Whenever we go into edit mode, we can see it there, and we've also got highlighted seams. However, we do not have highlighted seams for the wrist, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. So as you're selecting these, you can hold down Shift and select several that are connected. Actually, that's Control. So you want to, like, if you hit Control and then select. Right click, mark seam. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight these seams. I've already got this one selected, but I'm gonna select both of these seams, duplicate them, and then separate them from this. Then we'll copy it over to the shirt that we're about to import. So I've selected it. I'm going to do Control D. So I just duplicated it. I'm going to hit Enter so that I don't move it. And then I'm going to hit P and then separate selection. There we go. Now, whenever I open up this armature, I'll see that I've got my upper wearable here. So I'm going to go back into object mode. I've got my upper wearable, but then whenever I click here, I've got separately. So if I hit G, I can move it. I've got the and then so whenever I hit right click, it'll go back to where it was. So if I just want to kind of move something, if I hit left key, it sticks, and then I've got to do Control Z to make it go back, or grab it, and then, you know. So this is just me showing you that I have separated it, and it is its own mesh. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this upper wearable that I had imported the material. I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to hide it. So, but we can still see our edges there. And then I'm going to click on the hands as well, and I'm going to go ahead and hide these two. So now we can see that we've got our wrists there. And then of course we don't have anything here, and that's because we're about to upload or import this. So I'm gonna go to import GLTF. Then we're going to, this is the red elegant jacket. And there are several of these example files in a link that I'll post in the description of this. This is a good way to learn how to begin making uppers, lowers, is to import these templates basically. However, these templates are older, so they still have their hands attached to them. Now the new armatures, they have a hand category. And so the reason why we're going through this is because we need to align the upper example so in this case, this elegant jacket. And then we need to basically make this red jacket have the same vertex points for the wrist so that we can delete the hands and then everything will align properly. The Mel example file actually has vertex points very close to where they should be already. So it's a little more confusing to show you with that. So this is a much better example. So we're gonna import this. And then whenever we import this, of course, this is the older version. So you can see that it has the hand, with it, which we don't want. And then here we can see our black vertex points or black edges that, as you can see, they look like a little band or something, like they're not overlapping with this mesh at all. But we have another issue here. Whenever we import a GLB file, we'll see a lot of these triangles. So we're wanting to clean that up. We're wanting to convert the triangles to quadrants, or to quads, not quadrants, to quads. So we're gonna go face, tab up here, and again, we're in edit mode. We're gonna go face, triangle, tris to quads. So that converted the triangles to quads. However, what it did is it actually just moved these points over other points. So we need to clean that up. So we're gonna go to mesh, clean up, and then merge by distance. So we can see that we have 652 vertex points that were overlapping and now removed. Okay, so now we can see that we've got, so with the edge, we can see that this is, there's like actually no edges at all with this upper that, are overlapping this. So this would be a problem. We wouldn't have to know how to fix this. So to do this, what we're gonna do is first we're gonna join, I'm gonna join this reference edge, these reference edges, we're gonna merge it with this upper that we uploaded. So I'm gonna go to object mode, I'm gonna select this, shift or control this upper, right click and join. And so it turns from an orange color to a yellow color. This means that it is now the same thing. So we're gonna go to tab. I'm gonna click on the plus sign. And this is a really useful technique I'm gonna show in terms of being able to move vertex points to where you want them to be, like over another vertex point. So what I'm gonna do is right click here. Now I'm gonna hit numpad period to zoom into the area that I'm gonna show. And so then I'm going to do Shift S and cursor to selected. And then this is the vertex point that I'm wanting to move here to this location. So I clicked on this and I'll do Shift S selection to cursor. So I'm gonna repeat this. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna allow me to move these vertex points. And so what I could do is I could move these vertex points over here or these vertex points over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Control Z to move these guys back like that. I think what I'm gonna do instead is move these over here. That way I can have this as still, because these lines were part of the original upload. So now I could move these over here and then we end up reducing some of the geometry here, but I also don't want to lose anything for this example. So what I'm gonna do is I'll click on this one, do not Control S, but do Shift S, cursor to selected, and then hit this Shift S, selection to cursor. So I'm gonna go ahead and just repeat this while I put down the line. Okay, so what I've done is I've moved these over. So now this original mesh is lined up with the with the wrist reference that I need. So now what I can do is, now I still need to do this to the other side, but I'll go into wireframe mode, and what I will do is just select all of the hand vertex points, and then delete, then vertex. And then now I can see that this is actually ready for, now what I need to do here is actually hit A for select all, and then mesh, clean up, merge by distance. And that removed those 6 vertex points that I had just moved over. So this right hand is actually ready. So if you were to import this into the Decentraland, like if you wanted to see it like as a preview, like before publishing it, this would have the hands on it, as it should. So let's go back here to the other side. I'll click there, hit number pad period to zoom into where I'm wanting. And I can see that here is the what I'm wanting to bring these over to. And again, just to explain what we're seeing here, this came from the armature for the female armature that was updated, and it had separate hands. And the reason why we're doing this is because these example uppers that we have on the Decentraland Google repository, which I'll post in the description of this video, all of them still have their hands. So you will need to do this with, I believe, all of them. The male version of this is like a punk shirt, and it actually has very, very close vertex points to these, but actually they're not identical. So you would still want to do that. Their vertex points for their shirt is like right here. It's like really close. It's kind of hard to see. I went ahead and went with this shirt because they're so far apart. So it's a much better example, less confusing. So what I do is hit Shift S, cursor to selected, and select the one that I want to move over there. Shift S, selection to cursor. And I'll go ahead and repeat this. Okay, so we have moved all of these over. And what I'm gonna do here is go ahead and just hit A to select all, and then go to mesh cleanup, and it'll merge those 6 vertices that I just moved over. So this is gonna have a little different order than I did the other one, but it kind of shows you can do it in different, the specific order doesn't always, for this doesn't matter. So I'm selected the vertices, and I'm gonna hit delete to delete all of those. So, okay, so both of these are ready for the hands. So this is how you convert the new example files to be, to remove the hands, update them, for that. Okay, so the other question that my friend had was how do we map, like, let's say for this jacket, I'm wanting to put like a logo. Where would be it? These probably is not the best place for a logo. I tell you what I'm gonna do is just do a little modeling. I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna select these. And 1 second. Hey Laurie, I'm recording a video. So I'm gonna getting done almost. Okay, so what I'm doing here is selecting some of these, like the inside edge of this jacket, and I'm gonna kind of draw it in to kind of close this up a little bit. That way I'll have a nice little place to have a logo. So what I've done here is I have selected these faces, and I'm wanting to move these faces towards the center, but I'm not wanting to change like their positional, like their orientation to the inner curvature. So here you can see it's kind of coming in. If I were to just hit G and move this over, then it would probably be fine, but it would, number one, I mean, if it didn't do exactly the same, then they'd be different from one side to the other side. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna hit Control V or Shift V. And I'm just gonna use my keypad actually to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, well, whenever I did that, I did lose, let's see, we're gonna go back, and actually I'll just do grab, just to make this quick. So I'm gonna grab, and hold on, and hit. So whenever, like the number pad, you've got these different keys, and these kind of lock a position, like lock a view. So I'm gonna hit 1, hit G, and then I'm going to move this over a bit. Ooh, look. So there is an issue here. We're gonna go back into, so one thing that's really important whenever you import these is you do not want to change the these edge loops. So my friend had the other question, he had worked on an upper, and then whenever he had worked on the upper, he realized, look, like the upper is not aligning to the head. And the reason why is because most likely they had moved one of these vertex points. So like if we were to move it like down or something, then it would no longer match up to the neck. So let's see here, what I'm going to do to overcome that, so this is a little bit tricky, but this is really kind of a good example, I think, is I am going to click on the faces, and I'm not going to click on this one, because if I click on this one, then it'll adjust this. However, there's like another option that we can do. Let's see, I can add an edge. So I can do Control R. And what that did is it added a little, like another, so that was Control R. And what that does is it adds like an edge depending on your orientation. So So I'm gonna hit escape. So I added this here so that I could bring these, let me go back into face mode. So I could bring these in. So so this is a little bit of modeling tutorial too, is I'm wanting to add, create some room for this logo that I'm gonna UV matte. And so I just had to, because the main thing is I don't want to move anything associated with this top, with these edges that go around the neck. So what I'm gonna do is select these again. I'm gonna hit 1 and then grab X, so along the axis, and I'm gonna move it in like this. Now what I'm doing is I'm also looking up here, it says in the top right corner, it says D and then minus 0.028. What I'm wanting to do is move both sides identically, like the same distance. So now that I see that it's 0.028, what I'll do is just hit on the keypad 0.028, but it was a minus, remember? So then I hit minus, and then so I moved it exactly 0.028. So what I'm gonna do is and that actually lined up pretty good. So I was a little bit afraid that if I just moved it over, it wouldn't look as good, but actually I think that looks pretty good. So you never know until you explore and try it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. And so now we know exactly 0.28 to move it over here. And look, that gives plenty of room for like a logo. So maybe on both sides. So I'm gonna grab X 0.028. And of course on this side, it's not minus, it's positive because we're going the opposite direction. Okay, so this is a little bit of modeling. So now I've actually got some room to add a little logo there. And so, yeah, I mean, this would be a decent place for a logo, these four on both sides, or maybe even down here. Yeah, I guess we're not gonna go with make this super stylish or anything, but it's really we're just kind of showing a technique. I may do one up here because this is 4 different quadrants, so this is a little more complicated. Okay, well, so the first step whenever we, let's say I want to add, an image texture here. So what we're doing is we're gonna go to shading, and we already have an image texture for this jacket. So here we go. So we're in the shading tab. These are the different materials that we've got. We have 2 skin materials, so we actually can delete one of those. And okay, look at that. Whenever we deleted one, it basically messed up these hands. And we want this to stay color, or to be skin color. So what we need to do is actually make these vertices, convert them over to this material. Like we don't need the same duplicate material. So let's go do this. So with nothing selected there, I'm gonna click on this and do select, and it's selected these hand materials. I'm gonna click on this material and do assign. And then so now when I click on this and do select, those are not showing up. The reason why is because they are now part of this. And then also, let's say I want this to be skin too. Let's say I want these to be skin. I'll do select there too. Or sorry, I'll do assign there. So this part will be a white shirt, and then this part will be skin, and the neck will be skin too. So it's kind of a lower cut version of the original one. And we can even go one step further. We can click on this vertex, shift that vertex, and J for join. And so this is, then we can make these also skin. There we go. So all of these will be skin, and then the white shirt will be here. Okay, so yeah, just a little bit of modeling involved, and then we are going to click on this skin. So this is now like no part of the mesh is actually using this. We can double check that by doing select, and nothing shows up. So that we can tab and we can delete this. Okay, because whenever you make a wearable, the skin does not count as a material. So this is a free kind of material. It'll change with the skin color, and we have a maximum of 2 textures. And so this is one texture that's providing the colors for this. And I'm going to add another skin texture. And we're going to go new. I'll call this logo. So whenever I made that new mesh, it gives me a principal BSBF, material output. I'm going to right click, add an image texture. Drop that there, pop it in there, and I am going to select the image that I've got. Yeah, so I have a logo that I made here, and of course we don't see it anywhere, but we need to click on the UV editing tab, and then up here we need to select on what we just uploaded. So that was this one, AeonSmash. So now that we're in, so each one of these tabs that you click on, you need to change the settings up here for each one. So now that we're on UV editing, we don't see anything here, so we need to click on the material so we can see it. And so if I select this, what I can do is I can do UV. I'm just kind of looking like the background here is not the same background there, so that's really not going to look very good there. But what I can do, let's see. What I'm going to do is I can't do a controlled R edge or it'll highlight all of this. I don't want that. So what I'm wanting just to make a little square right here. And let's see. Actually, what I'm wanting, I think what I'm going to do is have a square right here, but I want this part in here to still be black. So to do that, I'll show you how to do that real quick. I'm going to highlight both of these. Right click, Subdivide. Subdivide. I'm going to highlight both of these guys. And then Shift V. And move them down. And I can see up here it says, what it says vertex slide, it says 0.74. What I'm going to do, and that's positive, so I'm going to do 0.75. There we go. And then I'm going to hit J for join. Okay, so now I have like a nice little area that I can have the logo here, and it has black around it, so it still kind of looks decent, you know. So okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I'm going to highlight both of these. Hit numpad period to zoom in on the area that I'm interested in. And I'm going to hit, go ahead and hit both of these and subdivide. And then Shift V. And now I'm going to do 0.75 in the opposite direction. Ooh. So I'll do these separately. So Control V minus 0.75. For some reason, this is the other direction. So Control V 0.75. There we go. And then I will select both of these and hit J to join. Oh, actually, this was supposed to be down here. So what I can do is just repeat that. And I never actually meant to make this one, so I can right click on it and dissolve vertice. And then of course now it's gotten rid of this one, so I can join this. Okay, so now we're back to where we were. And then I can select these two vertices. And I can hit J for join. There we go. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back to the face, and so now I've got these two areas where I can place the logo, and it'll look decent because it'll have black all the way around it. So I'm gonna go to the material properties here, and I can see that I've got the avatar, skin, and then the logo here. So for both of these selected, I'm going to, so right now it's this. And I'm going to hit logo and then assign. And then so now it's actually assigned it to this, but now we need to map it. So we're gonna go to UV and we're gonna do Smart Unwrap, which Smart Unwrap kind of keeps the same orientation. So you can see how these kind of curves are like this. Smart UV Unwrap maintains the same kind of shape, which will eliminate distortions. So what I'm going to do is click on this, and that is this part. And so this is not selected. This is over here on this side. This is on the right side. And I'm just going to kind of hit G for move and S for scale. G. And okay, so if I grab this and move it down, it'll actually distort the image a little bit. Like you can see on the actual shirt, it's kind of distorting it a little bit. In this particular situation, this is down here, so this overlaps. So I can grab this and actually bring it up, and then you begin to see it there. But where it's overlapping is the same exact color, so it really doesn't matter. So that's actually just fine. And I need to do the same to the other side. So what I could do is I need to make sure I'm moving these at the same scale. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna hit Control Z. There we go. And I'm gonna hit G. Gonna move this to the center again. And now whenever I scale it, I'm gonna keep track of that value so I can duplicate it for the other side. So I'm gonna hit S for scale. And that's pretty good right there. Oh, I didn't see what that value was. So here, and that's 0.16479. What I'm gonna do is just do 0.7. Oop, 0.17, I mean 0.17. Then I'm gonna, okay. Now I'm gonna go to the other side and do the same thing. So I'm gonna hit this, A for all, G, and then scale 1.7. Okay, so now if you look at these, both of these are really, I mean, they're the same exact size like the logo, and they're also not distorted. So whenever I click on both of these, I can see that, I mean, they're going in different directions, so they're not gonna line up perfectly. But one thing you can do is you can actually highlight these, and I can do right click, mirror the X. But now when I do that, then the text is backwards. So what I could have done, what you can do is you can mirror it if it doesn't have text, and you could actually kind of align these up, all of these up there, so it'd be exact same location. But we can't do that because then the text will be backwards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back, Control Z, there we go. And then just gonna eyeball it. So I think I'm gonna move it over, bring that up. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, I want it to look the same on both sides. There we go. And so voila, there we go. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but that is how you take an imported mesh, and you want to make sure that you do not change change any of these edges or vertex points around the neck, around the waist. And of course, see, these kind of flare out a little bit, but then you've still got the ones back in here that are attached to the waist, so you wouldn't want to move these. And so you don't want to move those, or they won't align to the neck or the hip. And then you've got the wrist. So all of these imported examples are older, they need to be updated, and they will be soon at some point. And then, but until then, then you know exactly how to do this. So you would just take the imported one. So we can actually take a look at that again. So go back down. So yeah, so this is the original one, and it does not have hands with it. And we can see all of our edges or all of our seams marked. So basically, I just selected these edges and these edges. I duplicated them. I separated them from this mesh. I hid it, and then I imported the example mesh, and I aligned up those vertex points with Shift S. And once I had those 6 here aligned and these 6 here aligned, then I did mesh cleanup to get rid of the duplicates because I was overlapping vertices. And then I selected all the vertices for each hand, deleted those. Then we created a new image texture. We actually had duplicate skins, so we were able to move those over and assign actually new skin areas. And then we created our new logo texture, did a little modeling. So like if we wouldn't have had that black here that we did, it really wouldn't have looked very good. But now it actually kind of looks like, I mean, it's not the most stylish thing in the world. Maybe it would be better just to have it on one side. We can actually see what that would look like. We can go into face mode, and we can just assign. Ooh. We had actually changed this up a bit. So what we can do is we can click on this material, select, so we can scale 0.001, grab, and so it actually wasn't that same color, but what I can do is I can Okay, it's right here. So yeah, what I did is I want to make sure that these are the same color as this, just so I can see what this looks like, because I think it probably does look better. And I think I want the logo to be on this side, not this side. So I'm actually going to hit Control Z, go back. There we go. And I'm going to select this. I'm going to assign it back to this other one. I'm going to hit scale 0.001 or 01, and then grab it and then move it over to here, because this is actually where it should be to match up. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's probably a little better. But anyway, these are just, you know, me just showing you different things. So, okay, well, that's I think that covers. Okay, and actually one more thing. I want to show just briefly, like if I wanted to export this to the Decentraland, you know, system for publishing. What I would do right now, this is not weighted at all to the skeleton. So weighting is where you assign influence over the mesh based on the skeletal armature. You can either do that manually, or what you can do is just you can parent it with automatic weights. So to do that, you would select on the upper, you would shift, select the skeleton, you right click, and you parent with automatic weights. Yikes. Okay, so what is up with that? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear parenting completely. Highlight this again. And parent with automatic weights. There we go. So I'm not really sure what was there. When I had it imported, I tried to do that, and apparently it was already parented in some way. So I'm not sure what that was. But what I did to fix that was I right-clicked, clear the transformation. I highlighted it, shift, select the armature, and parented with automatic weights. Now, whenever I click on the actual shirt and go to weights, and then I take a look at all the different vertex points, these different parts will highlight in different colors. Here, I'll kind of expand this so you can see. So yeah, the automatic weights automatically assigned influence. So for the right forearm, you've got this part of the mesh, the right arm, the right shoulder. So all of these parts are automatically, their influence of movement based on the armature is assigned automatically. So what I'm going to do is go to object mode. To export this, I'm going to select the shirt. I'm going to select the armature. I'm going to go to File, Export, GLTF. And I am going to, I always like to remember my settings. Selected objects. And apply modifiers. So I don't have any modifiers applied here, but it's just a good idea to, whenever you export GLBT or GLTF, I think I'm saying that right, to have the remember export selected objects and apply modifiers. Okay, so and I've got the folder that I want, so I'm going to export. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention is underneath the shirt here, it's we need to assign the skin color. So this part of the mesh right here is still white. It's still assigned to the shirt. So what we're going to do is click on this, assign that, and then now whenever we export it and bring it to the platform, that this was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, just post them in the comments. I'll get to them. Hopefully other people will start to, if this becomes popular, other people will jump in and we can help each other out, create like a little group of friends that we can make sure that no one's left behind, frustrated and wanting to give up. So alrighty, recently we had a exotic wearable competition in Decentraland, so I'm about to do another giveaway for my submission, and we had 10 amazing winners, and the competition was really a lot of fun. So Decentraland, thank you. I think that was a great idea. Alrighty, well, I hope everybody has a great week. Take care.
Decentraland, demystified. Create your world, let the imagination fly. With ChronoT as your friendly guide, go design and build, watch it amplify. SDK7 for TypeScript coding. With blocks and tools, it's so mind-blowing. Build your spaces